Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Downtime in the Ring. This week, we have the pride of Glory Pro Wrestling, at least in my opinion, because he posts so much, he shares so much, he loves that place, it seems like. We have Kenny Alfonso joining us this week. What's going on,
Hey,
brother?
what's up, big dog? How's it going? How's it going?
It's going good,
Good.
man. It's going good. So, like I said, dude, you share so much of Glory Pro that you guys can catch him on Thursdays on YouTube or X, Twitter, whichever one that you want to say. It's the same thing, basically. So, you guys can catch him on Thursdays. What, where did Glory come from? Like, where did you fall in love with that promotion?
Let's see. Years ago, I had a tag partner named Camaro Jackson who wrestles there also.
Yeah.
Um, we basically had a spot open on a pre-show, and we were told to set up that day. I didn't think we had a chance of getting on because this show had names like Tetsuya Naito, ACH, AR Fox, and we're like green as hell. I'm like, there's no chance of us getting on this show. Let alone we got on, and yeah, we've been there ever since. That was what 2019, I think, 2019 or 18. But yeah, it's like a second home for me. They treat me good.
I would assume so. You have so many storylines from there. You have so many adventures. Like I said, you repost that a lot. I'm definitely going to watch for this Thursday. I'm excited. Gives us a little Thursday slot to watch something.
Oh yeah,
Even though we have like Ring of Honor, still give us more wrestling to watch.
shoot.
So I found a lot of your social media and I thought, oh, okay, this guy's relatable. And I found something that I think you either forgot to keep going with or that you just, you gave up entirely on. And I found your TikTok.
Mm,
And there's a TikTok that you had from December of last year. And it was my body giving out when I eat the oysters from Home Depot and you just collapse behind you. And I was like, yeah, all right. I like that one. I like that one.
oh man, yeah. The TikTok account, that's like a completely separate account. It's like it's public, but I just hope people don't find it because of like the stuff that I post is just I don't know. It's just my motive is just to have something for people to laugh at. Social media can be a very negative place, and like it can be pretty depressing and dark sometimes. So it's just like if I can make my post, if my post can make someone laugh for 2 seconds, I feel accomplished and I feel like I've done my job. So yeah, a lot of the funny stuff that I post, I don't put much thought into it. I just hope whoever comes across it gets a good laugh out of it.
That's how
I
I am with my TikTok. I just
Man.
post random stuff with my cat. If it's like the trending video, like that monkey chain, monkey fist thing. Yeah, I'll do it. So I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
No, it got me and I was like, okay, cool. And then you did the trend where what would you look like if you were in the 80s?
Yeah.
Which Eddie Murphy, that's all I'm gonna say. Just young
Yep.
Eddie Murphy. That's what you look like.
I was
It's
waiting
not
on
a, it's a compliment. That's what I'll say. You look like Beverly Hill Cop Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah, 80s Eddie Murphy was handsome, so shit, I'll take it. I'll take
So into your career, how long have you been wrestling?
it. 6 years now. It don't feel like it. I'm creeping up on 7 actually. Minus COVID year, it feels like 5. Um, but yeah, I'm creeping on 7 now, low key.
That age is coming up. It's
Man.
slowly creeping.
Oh
Slowly creeping.
yeah. Hmm.
So you've gotten to take pictures with like tons of amazing different, talent. I saw you with Jay Lethal, which was really cool. I saw you with Suzuki, correct?
Yes,
Minoru
correct.
Suzuki.
Yes. You took a picture with Minoru Suzuki, which I was like, where did that
Yeah.
even come from?
Like just like asking for the photo and stuff. Um, I try to like test a little bit of Japanese on him too, and he was like, "Oh," he like he like low key popped for it a little bit. Um, But yeah, no, I was like nervous as shit asking for a photo with Suzuki. I mean, who wouldn't be nervous? But like,
100%.
oh man, yeah, no, super cool. And the Jay Lethal photo was right after our match this past November, I believe. Um, which is wild to say. Like what?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, yeah, no, I've met a crap ton of names and like people who I never thought I'd meet in a million years. But yeah, thankful is an understatement for sure.
I'm gonna say like probably like Warhorse because he had a program going on with Danhausen, which that's like a huge goal for me. I really do want to meet. Like Danhausen's one of the coolest people ever. No
Oh,
matter what anybody says.
oh,
That's the
sure.
perfect gimmick. You've gotten to do a lot so far. You've gotten to work what? You worked for AEW. You did something for AEW, I remember, or did you just go backstage?
Uh, if you guys remember the Wardlow versus the 20 security guards segment, I was
Yes.
one of those security guards. I was the one that actually got to hit a crossbody from the top rope on Wardlow. Yeah, that was a crazy ass night. Yeah, no, I've met a lot of people. But yeah, that night was it was a highlight for sure. That whole week was crazy. Um, yeah, that whole week was nuts because I think that week I had St. Louis Anarchy where I wrestled ACH for the second time. Um, what else did I had? I had Atlanta for Battle Slam where I was in a four-way with Lee Moriarty, um, and like fast forward a couple of days later, I'm in the ring with doing that. So it's
Yeah.
like this business can take you any and everywhere, in my opinion. So just be
And
ready.
and how was like the locker room? Did you get a chance to kind of like gauge the locker room and stuff? Any experiences in regards to that?
For AEW.
Yes, or any of them really for the most part. I understand every locker room is its own kind of beast and in and of itself. So, was there
Yeah.
anything like specific from the AEW one?
Everybody was super talkative and just like open and welcome, opposed to being backstage at WWE. Not saying that, it's like a bad or toxic environment at WWE, but it's just completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Seeing stuff like CM Punk and Matt Sydal, like just backstage, like watching all the matches and giving us indie wrestlers like critiques and stuff like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
something you never would imagine people like that doing for you. But yeah, no, it's just from my experience, was a super warm, welcoming environment.
Oh,
And I'd
I
love to
see.
get back sometime.
I see. That's cool. That's cool. I talk about locker rooms because I was doing a little bit of research through your Facebook and I came across a post that says that you had said some of these gym locker rooms be smelling like bounce that ass and poverty. Can you elaborate on that?
Oh man. Woo. I'll say gym locker rooms and wrestling locker rooms because goddamn. Yeah, those pre-workout craps are no joke. Um, yeah, it's it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's just got to the point where I'm like, damn, I have to make a post about this and let this out somehow because oh my god, anybody who's been in a gym bathroom can vouch for what I'm saying.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
it's rough.
It's
fucking
very rough.
Oh my god, dude.
I can't say anything. I'm usually the culprit, so I can't say a single thing to that. I'm feeling a little offended, so I'm just gonna cry silently in the corner.
Oh man.
Anyways,
I hope you are offended if you're one of those people.
okay. I'll remember that. All right. So I like going through your Twitter just because you are very bold in your statements. And one of the things that caught my eye the most is like the prompt said, like pick a match that you think, or that you would say they wrestled like the rent is due. And the one that you picked is one of my favorite matches from the Cruiserweight Classic. I think it's one of the world's favorite matches from the Cruiserweight Classic, which was Ibushi versus Alexander.
Oh my god.
Yep.
When I say that night, when I watched it, when I watched the replay back, that was the first time I had like enough energy to like get up and go to the gym in the middle of the night. It was like 11 o'clock almost, but I was just so fucking hyped, and I just couldn't sit down. I'm like, I gotta let this energy out somehow. Yeah, no, I put that tweet out, and like it started doing numbers, and to a point where Cedric Alexander like caught it and like quote tweeted it himself. And then it was doing even more numbers, and I'm like, holy shit, because like Cedric is one of the guys that I like. He's one of the guys that was a huge inspiration to me when I first started off. Just his in-ring style was something I tried to not necessarily mimic, but a huge chunk of inspiration came from it.
You trying to do lumbar checks on people?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm bookmarking that though. I'm putting that in my notes for this weekend.
Oh, okay, cool, man. I gotta see a video. If you do it, I have to see a video. You gotta send one, dude. You gotta send one. I want to see you do a lumbar check to somebody. So I like the fact that he quote tweeted it too, and he was just really honest. And he was like, "Well, the rent was due."
He was like, shit,
so that's why you guys. That's why they tore the house down. I loved seeing that. Like the amount of interaction that you have too with like what do you guys? Who is it? The Quad Father.
Yes.
I was like. First off, I was a little confused because, like, to football fans, the Quad Father is A.J. Dillon of the Packers. So I was like, I looked at it for a second. I was like, does he know A.J. Dillon? And then I saw who it was, and I was like, oh, okay. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
Nah. I met a lot of famous people, but I ain't met that one just yet. I didn't even know that. Like, it's bad that I'm a Kansas City native and don't keep track with football like that.
It's all good. 90% of your season was just Taylor Swift, so it's perfectly fine. It's just fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Basically.
Even though I'm a Swiftie and I still had to defend her, like it's fine. It's fine. It's not her fault. Not her fault.
Man, she's got some hits. She's got some hits.
She does. She does. People don't want to admit it, but she does.
In fact, in high school, I was a percussionist, and during the pep bands, the one song that I did on the drum set was "Shake It Off" by her. So yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that's dope, man. Yeah, dude, like you are constantly moving, constantly performing, and like this amount of research is just fun. It's just seeing, respectfully, I don't know really what your quote unquote gimmick would be, because it just seems like you're yourself with the volume turned all the way up. And I really enjoy that.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, like essentially I'm still trying to dial in and find out exactly who I am, because I don't want to present something that's not authentic enough for people, because a lot of people can just see through a gimmick that doesn't really match the person, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to figure out exactly who I am, but in the meantime, yeah, like you said, I'm just taking that volume and turning it up a little bit. I've got some ideas that I can't disclose just yet regarding character/gimmick stuff. But I would say just be on the lookout for that this year.
Let's talk about your love of Naruto, dude. Because Naruto nerds are the absolute cringiest people in the
Oh man, don't do me like that.
Oh,
Don't do us like that, man. Okay.
as I have mine on. So
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say. So where did the love come from? Where did you start? Who's your favorite character? Are you a big fan, or do you just dabble in it a little bit? Like what's up?
Big fan. Big fan. That is the first anime that I ever. That's what pretty much opened the floodgate and opened the door for anime in general for me. Naruto's always going to be number one. Yeah, I was like fourth or fifth grade, I think, back in like back in like '08, I think. And I was just scrolling on TV, and it was early in the show. I think it was when they were fighting Haku and Zabuza, I think is his name.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. And I couldn't look away. I will say I will agree with you on Naruto fans being like, at least a lot of us being cringy and just weird, you know. I wasn't one of the kids during recess who was doing the
The Naruto run down the hallway.
I did a lot of weird stuff, you know, but you want to catch me doing nothing like that. Favorite character, I'm gonna go with Kakashi Sensei. Yeah, cool. It's just like the perfect word to describe him. You know, he's very what's the word I'm looking for? Maniacal, calculating. Like he's just so like smooth with everything that he does. You know, and I feel like I just kind of strive to be like that in a certain way, I guess. But yeah,
I have
it
a
also
lot.
helps having like other weeb friends in general.
I have a lot of respect for you because your favorite character wasn't immediately Itachi.
Oh yeah.
And so I see, oh, you rolled your eyes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I can't complain. Mine's Neji. I've always been an Neji
Oh,
fan. So
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I can't. I got so much respect for you, man, because that's like most of the time people like Itachi, and
It's
not for any of like the character building ways, just the way he looks. I'm like, okay,
yeah, like dude is cold, but it's just I don't know. It's like an easy go-to answer for everybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
nah.
did you so I'm assuming that you watched both Naruto and Shippuden. Did you ever what are your thoughts on Boruto and the hate that spawned from it?
Uh, I tried giving it a go, but I don't know. It's not the same. Like obviously, it's not supposed to be the same. You know, it's not supposed to be focused on the original cast and the original characters. It's supposed to be focused on a new generation. But at the same time, I'm just like I don't know. The stories they don't hit as hard for me, and I try to like just ignore what like everybody else is saying whenever they
Mhm.
start to bury it and stuff, just so I have like a clear mindset going into it. But I can't do it. Like I'll try to put it on, and I have to tap out, or I just lose interest.
Yeah. And I'm like you, like back in like 2007 when it first aired, like I started from episode like one, or I think it was like I think the episode I started on was close to around yours where it was Haku Zabuza.
Yeah.
Um but obviously I went back, watched the first episode, and then continued on into the Shippuden days. And my thing is it was Naruto in and of itself was a complete story as is. So when they started adding Boruto into the mix of things, I was like, okay, it's kind of like an addition. It's more of an epilogue. They kind of took a movie and they made an entire series out of it. But Naruto in its entirety from Shippuden and the original series was already told in a complete story. And I don't think I could ever like go up, oh, you literally just face the god of Shinobi. How can you like go further than that? The legit rabbit queen god of Shinobi. So Like after that point, I was like, I can't. And then they started cloning Jiraiya in the new Boruto, and I was like, no, I can't.
I heard about that. That's like
Yeah,
why I try to catch up just so I can get to that, but I'm just like, nah, man.
yeah.
That's
That
the
sounds
best
like
way
a
to put it.
sounds like a
Like, where do we
bad
go?
sitcom read, honestly. You beat the god, now you have to handle parenthood.
We went from poison ranas to headlocks. Like, come on, man. What are we doing, bro?
Yep.
Sorry, but yeah, can't do it, man.
So you said, you strive to be a lot like Kakashi, but also going in and researching on you, you have another hero, and unfortunately he did pass away, and he will always be remembered for certain roles. What made you like fall in love with Carl Weathers?
Mm. Um. So the Rocky series was the reason I started working out in general. Back in back in my middle school days. What channel was that? I think AMC. With all the oldies and stuff,
Yeah.
they would always play like Rocky marathons and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, no, I would just watch and just be hooked. Um, yeah, which led to me doing like at home workouts and stuff like that. I even had like a bunk bed where I would like hang my feet from the ladder part and like hook my hands above and start doing like pull-ups and stuff like that, like while watching and stuff like that. So yeah, uh, yeah, the Rocky series in general just got me hooked into getting in shape and stuff. And Carl Weathers definitely had a huge part in that. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Okay.
rest in peace.
Okay.
And like going into the whole working out thing, I had read a post saying that you've been trying to figure out and this was last year, you've been trying to figure out the difference between being motivated and being disciplined.
Yeah.
And so that's something that kind of resonated with myself, because you can be motivated, but if you don't have the discipline to match it, you won't get there. I think it's the famous Denzel Washington quote. If you're what's it called? If you're motivated, you won't start. If you're not motivated, you won't start, but if you're not disciplined, you won't finish.
Damn.
Yeah, something along those lines. Don't quote me on that, but it's a very powerful quote. Was there, like, in that regard, what were your thoughts in terms of you finding that difference between motivation and being disciplined in context to your wrestling career and even working out and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's way easier said than done, obviously. Yeah, no, there's days for like all of us where we just clocked out of work and you feel like the day is over, but
Mm-hmm.
the day is not over yet. You still have other stuff to take care of and other things that you should be trying to pursue outside of the 9 to 5. Yeah, like I said, way easier said than done, but it's just like certain days where I just want to go home, lay in bed, not do anything for hours, which does sound nice. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, periodically and stuff. Um, but I know in the long run, I'm just going to feel a lot better at the end of the workout, at the end of whatever task I'm trying to accomplish. If I just get up and do it and try not to overthink um, getting started. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah. And in other words, just do it, I guess.
Yeah, and it's hard for some people to get that jump start going, and oftentimes, like, it's either it takes a friend or even like kind of just kicking yourself, saying, "Hey, like, why are you sitting here or laying in bed in the dark on your phone scrolling through TikTok?" And
Yeah.
especially now with doom scrolling and TikTok, it's rough. Like, people trying to say, like, "I want to get this YouTube channel started." Well, start recording. You better be happy being in front of that camera a lot. If you can't, you better get in shape with that.
Get used to it.
I
So
love that. I love that he said that, because I deal with a lot of like the wrestling community who are always saying like, "Oh, I want to, I want to stream the 2K games, or I want to, they want to turn into like Chris Danger or like Chris Van Vliet or anything like that." There's a lot of Chris's. But they want to turn into that, and I'm like, you got to start. Like, it's not going to be handed to you. Like, this wasn't handed to me. I mean, we had to prove ourselves to Monteezy before he could trust us to have you on. So, I mean, it's just the same way. I think like The Rock has a quote about that. Spending 8 hours a day at your job and then coming home and doing nothing. It doesn't mean that you're not motivated. It just means you're not inspired. So obviously there has to be like something that makes you want to do it. And like when I took my time off from working out and then I came back, right before I started training, it was those days where like my partner, she'd be like, "Are you ready to go?" And I'm just sitting at my desk and I'm like, I know how I'm going to feel during it. I don't want to feel that way during it, but I know how I'm going to feel after. And I mean, for years, like I obviously, you have an athletic background, you did things, when you were younger. Did you play sports when you were younger also?
I dabbled a little bit in the track and cross country, just a little bit.
I did cross country. It's a hell of a sport, man. I'll say that.
You gotta have some lungs on you for that.
I was a big boy too. I still was a big boy when I did it. Because I wrestle, cross country wrestle, and then did long distance for track. I was still a big boy, so that's why people were running. They didn't want me to hit them. But I'm just trying to catch up so I don't get yelled at. That's the whole point.
They say you in the wrong sport, bro.
There's so clearly I was.
Oh snap!
But that's how it happens, man. Just people need to find that inspiration. Like you can have a buddy tell you, "Hey, I want to do this." Like I don't get onto Chris and be like, "Hey, come to the gym with me," any of that, because at the end of the day, it's not him saying it. It's me having to say it. And I'm like, you know what? If he hits me up and he says, "Hey, I want to go with you," cool. That's my mindset. Like even for this, if people want to help, I'm like, cool. I'd love for your help. I don't want to ever pressure anybody because I know how that feels, man. So I understand that whole motivating, trying to get into it, but it's sometimes it comes down to inspired, and sometimes people have like those weird ideas, like I'm gonna get a 6-pack in 6 months, or and you got a hell of a physique, man. I'll say that, dude. The fucking the 6-pack, dude. Like it makes me so mad. Everybody has one. I'm like, I understand it, but I like cake too much.
Oh man, shit, me too. Well, like,
don't you say that to me. You have a 6-pack, sir. Don't you say that to me.
Hey. Well, like, I mean, I was like a super skinny kid growing up, so like the abs have always been there, I guess. But like, I can't complain, I guess. But it's just like a matter of fact of like building the muscle and stuff around it, which is what I'm trying to do in the meantime.
So, quick question: as far as like you said, you started in 2019, correct? Or 2018?
Wrestling?
Yes, wrestling.
2017.
2017. Okay. I tend to ask this question here and there with our guests. How what did you do as far as like keeping yourself motivated and disciplined during the pandemic era? How like what have you kind of what was your way of navigating through that weird time in wrestling, or for everyone in that matter?
Yeah. Dark times. Dark times. My goal, obviously, to keep my cardio and stuff up. It's difficult when like every gym is shut down, obviously, but yeah, just trying to keep my cardio and stuff up. And I don't know. Well, I don't know who doesn't know of when Triple H came back, and what is that? 2000 or 01, when he came back just fucking yoked.
Yeah.
That was my goal. I put on like 7 pounds of like muscle and kept my body fat down at the time. I'm no giant now, obviously, but there's like before and after photos between pre-pandemic and now, or pre-pandemic and like right after the pandemic. Um, yeah, there's like different methods and different ways. Like I worked out at home with the little equipment that I had. Uh, there was a trail that I can go running on in the neighborhood I was staying at the time. Um, but yeah, it's I don't know. You just have to push through it. I don't have like a specific. I didn't have like a specific game plan besides that. Just trying to like stay just trying to maintain who I am as a person and like improve at the same time with what little resources I had. Yeah, it's just difficult, but yeah.
Yeah, and and in the long run, what happened was we went into the trenches. That was the pandemic era, and now we have this massive renaissance of wrestling, and indie promotions are now looked at like we said in last episode. They're looked at as, oh, you go to CCW, you go to GCW, you go to PWL, all these little promotions, and everyone's garnering. So coming from that to that, it's insane, and it's shows the testament to those who are disciplined and motivated to keep going, push past that. So much respect to that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for a lot of people, we didn't know what the indie scene was going to look like, whether, what professional wrestling was going to look like halfway through the pandemic. So the fact that you still kept that hope shows that, you do have that motivation. And speaking of that motivation, what is your biggest goal for this year?
Ooh, this year, I'm gonna say working outside of the country. Um, I have my passport application. I just need to finish that and turn it in. But I have friends from St. Louis. Shout out to the Forge Academy, um, who go to Canada and Winnipeg, I believe, all the time. Um, but that would be a nice starting point, getting my passport and hopping in the car with them, and just getting outside of the country in general. So Canada, um, and hopefully Japan sometime soon. So
You gonna go to the Naruto theme park?
How could I not?
Where is it? Outside the Tokyo? No.
I was just about to ask you that. Is it really? Because
No. Which park did Gabby Ortiz go to, Chris? That was outside the Tokyo. Oh, it was Attack on Titan. It was Attack
on Titan.
It was
yeah.
Attack on Titan that she went to.
I can't say anything. I want to go to the Studio Ghibli park. So
of course. Hey, there's no hate for that. There's no hate for that. I want to go to Tokyo Disney, dude. That would be so fun.
That'd be badass.
So what's a good word to describe your career so far? You're 7 years into it, so you haven't reached that decade point yet. But I mean, for everybody, even if we include the pandemic, it's been a wild ride. So how would you describe your career so far?
I'm gonna go with unpredictable. Yeah, I'm gonna go with unpredictable because a lot of stuff in this business happens like last minute, like way more than people realize. Um, like I wrestled former Impact World Champion Josh Alexander with like a week's notice, or like a week and some change notice, and it's just like, oh shit, I need my like I need to be in like the best shape I can get. And yeah, unpredictable. Like everything happens. Well, a lot of things happen last minute in this business. Matches change. Card order changes. Your opponent changes. I've post match. I've had moments where I had no idea I was supposed to do a promo. Second bell rings. I see the ring announcer getting in the ring with his microphone and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's that time. So yeah, just unpredictable is the word I'm gonna go with.
You've definitely had an unpredictable career. You've gotten to wrestle, like you said, Josh Alexander. You've gotten to do so many things. One person, one opponent that you saw that, I'm a big fan of was Myron Reed,
Uh,
the
yes.
young goat. I love seeing him flourish and getting to see the people he goes up against. And you know, you being on that list, how was that match?
Uh, it was tight. It was tight. That was also a busy week for me. Yeah, that is another match where I had to make sure walking into it, my conditioning was going to be up there. Cuz it's not often where at least nowadays it's not often where I get to have like that back and forth cruiserweight style of a match. I've been put in the ring with a lot of like big guys for the past couple years, and it was just like a breath of fresh air. Finally getting to do some cruiserweight stuff. Um, yeah, no, Myron's tight. Myron's so cool and like easy to work with. Um, yeah, that match was definitely a big highlight of mine.
Speaking of matches, do
Mhm.
you have any that you can announce for Mania week, or are you still putting feelers out?
Not at the moment, no. Um, and I know that's sneaking up too. Um, for a matter of weeks away now. Um, yeah, as of this year, not at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see though.
Are you trying to go regardless, or are you're good staying home watching Mania?
Either or. A lot of well, I don't know of any companies that I work for right now that are gonna be up there. Like, was it last year, the year before? Dallas,
Yeah.
Dallas Mania. I was down there. And that was my first Mania weekend ever, actually. Um, yeah, no, I would love to be in the environment again. The wrestling world just like comes together in one spot, and we had like Wale Mania and stuff like that, and then just getting to see like everybody together, it's just magical. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about this year though. Hopefully.
Hopefully, I want to see as many of our previous guests as possible on as many cards as possible, because it's always fun. It's always fun getting to see what you guys do, where you guys go. And Mania week is, it's a huge week. Everybody has their eyes that week for every show, regardless if it's in a bingo hall or you're doing the collective, the GCW collective. Like, everybody has eyes going. So
Mhm.
as we begin to wind down, because we didn't want to take too much of your time, again, I do appreciate this, and we'll have to do a part 2 later on. Hopefully, the next time we do it, you'll give us a story about, how cold Canada is, because
Yep.
we'd love to hear that. So, where can everybody find you?
Let's see. I'm on everywhere, including TikTok, obviously.
Yeah.
But you can find me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at the Kenny Alfonso. Um, and for my TikTok people, I'm pretty sure it's at Kenny Alfonso as well. Um, which,
I
by the way, I'm
believe.
going to be posting some more like funny stuff and
And for those
more
who
stuff from
Google
him.
him, no, it's not the actor Kenny Alfonso. I fell for that trap very quickly,
It
very
happened.
quickly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode of Downtime in the Ring. Thank you, Kenny, for coming on again. I can't thank you enough, man. Thank you for coming on. I can't wait to see, how you flourish throughout the year. Who knows? Maybe our paths will cross and we can do the next interview live. Would love to do that. Would love to actually get to meet you. And you guys can catch us in the next video.